I'm Bharti Kher. I live and work in Delhi. I've got a 3-month residency here in Somerset. I have a large studio practice in Delhi, and I've been working there for close to 20 years. And really my studio is like a big factory, really, or a big kitchen that just has many projects going on at the same time. I thought it'd be interesting just to focus on one work so that I could push through the ideas of one project and maybe just focus and work on my own just to see where the work would go. When you work in a studio where you have quite a big team, sometimes you just find that you become less instinctive, less immediate in your responses to how you make work, because there's a procedure and a process that moves through the work. So when you do it yourself, there's ultimate freedom in sort of making mistakes and also being perhaps more irreverent with the material. I think it's always good to have a plan and then not run to plan. I think that's much more interesting. So I came here with an idea that I would make a series of drawings over a period of 3 months, and I ended up making sculpture and also drawings. I have 2 floors in the studio. One is the sculpture floor and the other is the drawing floor. And in the evenings I make drawings, so I have a whole series of new works which are called the night drawings, for me, loosely titled night drawings. And that's the space where I'm not really sure exactly what I'm doing. Downstairs I'm totally in command of the project and I know what I need to do, how I need to go. So there's this very interesting dynamic of knowing and not knowing in the studio that's happening right now. The sculptures project that I'm doing right now is a series of works loosely called the Intermediaries. They are small clay figures that I've been collecting over the period of 3 or 4 years. And they're originally from South India. They represent an entire range and source of life, from everything from animals to gods to the secular. And what I'm doing with them is breaking them down. I'm opening the objects and breaking them and cutting them in half. It moves from the space of the religious back down to the secular. That's the kind of space that I'm interested in, is creating these new avatars, the new tricksters, the new shamans, almost kind of making the new gods in some way. And they are really about the images of us, we as in the imagination of the normal person. Britain's a really nice town. It's really charming. There seems to be a lot of nice people living here. It's quite active. I think Hauser Wirth has been quite instrumental in sort of activating the space. So people are genuinely quite curious, and they all seem to know about the artists in residence. So clearly there's been quite a history of it, of the artists being in this town. And I think for me this period has been quite an intense period of being quite solitary, actually. It is also the polar opposite of India and Delhi, where I live now. So I have really enjoyed just being alone and very quiet. This is a very quiet part of the countryside. It's so nice. It's great.